All right, welcome back, welcome back. So here it is, the beautiful 2006 SV650. After looking at it a little bit further, I discovered a few things that I need to do and not do different than what I said in my previous video. So where do I start? Well, I did go by the motorcycle store today and I got some spark plugs for it. Got some NGK CR8E. This is what it calls for, so we're going to be putting that on. Probably not today, but I'm going to try to pull that tank up, just see what it all is involved with putting that on. I got a new oil filter for it. This is the only one they had, the frame filter. I got rear brake pads, which are the double H sintered pads. They didn't have the front ones in stock, so I'm going to have to get those off Revzilla. And then I got some new grips, and I'm going to install those. I'll probably put those on today. I'll get rid of this broken bar end that's on here. The other one's missing. I don't know what happened to that, but back to that in just a minute. And I got some grip glue, and I was going to put the factory ones that I got from the XSR 900, because I think they look just like this one, if I'm not mistaken. But these are all raggedy looking, kind of janky. So I'm gonna replace these. And I did find out something. I was going to get new handlebars, but after I put a little chrome polish on it the other day, it cleaned up really, really nice. So I'm not going to replace the handlebars. They're going to stay. I'm just going to polish them up real nice. And same thing with these mirrors. I don't have a problem with these mirrors. They're dirty as could be. But if you look at the back of this one, it's really messed up looking. But I did polish this one up and it came out really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these mirrors. These are going to stay. And the same thing with the levers. They actually polish up pretty nicely. I put a little bit of polish right here, and they look pretty decent. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep those. Just save some money and keep those. I pulled the battery out because it's dead. I have to order one of those. Of course, they didn't have that in stock either. I don't know what it is with the motorcycle store, but this one in particular that I went to, they're like kind of like AutoZone, where they have, you know, one but not the other. For example, if you go there, they'll have like one windshield wiper but not the other. They'll have one set of brake pads. They won't have one for each side. I don't know what it is, but same thing with this motorcycle store. For some reason, they never have exactly what you need. So anyway, I did notice a couple things. Number one, when I was looking carefully, I noticed that this nut is missing off the engine. This one's here. This one's missing. I don't know what happened to it. It doesn't look broken or anything. It's just gone. Why someone would remove this is beyond me. So I'm going to assume that this came off with vibration over time. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I'm going to find one, put that back on, put some Loctite on it. Can't explain that. And then, I don't know if you can see, but one of the spark plugs is right here on top of the valve cover. So I'm going to have to swing this radiator forward. But I don't think it's going to give me enough room, or it might. I'm going to try to swing it. I have to loosen up this nut and the one on the other side, and hopefully the hoses will give me enough room to get a socket and a wrench under this radiator. If not, I'm going to have to pull the radiator off, but I plan on doing a cool and flush anyway, so if I have to do that and take it off, that's no big deal. I'm going to have to do a cool and flush anyway. Plus, the hoses on both sides are up at the top. So if you take the hose off and try to drain it, there's still going to be some in the radiator. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably take the radiator off and just dump it and get as much of it out as I can. Might have to do it twice. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Also, I noticed that the rear brake, I drove it around the block the other day, and the rear brake doesn't do anything. If you mash it down really hard all the way and it bottoms out, it kind of grabs, but not very well. Plus, it doesn't spring back like it's supposed to. So one of two things is wrong with it. Well, one of three, I think. I suspect that this brake line, which is, 14 years old, is probably swollen up and it does not get the proper fluid going. I'm suspecting this is the problem, but I'm going to replace this with a stainless steel brake line anyway, so that's no big deal. The other option could be that the master cylinder is gummed up. I hope that's not the issue. I looked on Revzilla, and the OEM master cylinder is $163. I really don't want to pay for that, but if I have to, so be it. And also this caliper, as you can see how janky it is, and these slide pins are looking kind of shady from sitting outside. So the other problem could be that these slide pins are not letting the caliper move back and forth like it's supposed to. We'll fix that and clean all this up so it'll be good. But yeah, so we'll see. But I did get the rear brake pads, and they are the EBC 88 sintered pads. So that's what's going on here. Same thing for the front, but they didn't have it for the front one. So we're going to replace that, and we're going to bleed all this fluid out of here. We're going to run some cleaner through, clean it all up. And yeah, that's pretty much the deal so far. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these, I'm going to remove these handlebars. By the way, I found out that these handlebar ends, the reason they don't have a thread in them is because these are those old cheap style ones where this bolt, as you tighten it, it expands this cylinder inside, which grabs the handlebar on the inside. So the tighter you get it, the more it snugs it. So these are cheap. They're like 15 bucks on, you can get them on Amazon or Revzilla. So I'm just going to get a new set and put them on, and that'll be good. And then that's that. Oh, the other thing, the chain. So I was looking at this chain, and it's not real rusted, just a little bit, but it's just really, really dirty. So I'm going to clean this up real nice, put some kerosene on it, clean it up, lube it up. And I think I can get away with not replacing them. If you look carefully, the sprocket is not even worn out. And it's I know you probably can't see it, but it's a 45 tooth, 525 chain. So I'm going to try to clean this up because the new chain is like 160 bucks. But I am going to put a new sprocket on it. And I thought it was going to change the speedometer when you change the sprocket size. But then I found out that this motorcycle has a speed sensor right here that's attached to the front wheel. So because it's not attached to the countershaft, it's not going to change the speedometer. So no matter what size tooth I use on the back, the speedometer will stay accurate, or at least as accurate as it's going to be. So I'm not worried about that. The chain, I'm going to try to get away with cleaning it, but it is going to get a new sprocket, and these tires are going to go. I'm going to get some new tires on it sometime soon. And then the shifter lever for me is too high up, so we're going to take this off, and I'm going to readjust it so it's down a little farther. I'm also going to take this cover off and clean up the front sprocket while I'm doing the chain and clean all this up. And you can see all the dirt and debris that's all over the bike. We're going to get this all cleaned up. Not today, but another day. Right now, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace those hand grips. Maybe even take off these levers and try to grease those up, clean them up. And that should be good. And then I'm going to clean up this bar. Again, you can see how clean it is on this side and how kind of dirty and janky looking it is on this side. So we're going to fix that. Polish it up real nicely. And then, of course, this kickstand is all like gummed up. It doesn't move very easily. So I'm going to take that off, clean it up, grease it up. Same thing with these foot pegs. And this one, for some reason, won't go back up. It folded down, but it won't go back up. So we need to figure out what's up with that. So we're going to fix that. And yeah, everything else, it just needs a whole lot of cleaning. But we're going to start with the grips. And I'm also going to I'm going to lift this tank up in just a minute and see what we can do with cleaning this, or not cleaning, but looking to see what it takes to get that rear spark plug, which should be somewhere back in here. So we're going to lift this tank up and see what I got to do to get to that spark plug. The front one, again, is underneath the radiator. So we'll see how it is. And then that should be good. So let's see what we can do. All right, so I got this side of the grip off, the left side. As you can see, all the grip glue that somebody used on here, a whole ton of it. But basically what I did was I took the screwdriver and just stuck it in between the grip and the bar, and just kind of stuck it in there. And I took a little bit of this WD-40 and sprayed it in there, and it slid right off. And that's what I'm going to do on the other side. Normally I would just stick a compressed air gun up underneath there, hit it, and it'll blow the grip right off. But my compressor is not hooked up right now, so this worked just as well. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bar end off. Same thing, stick the screwdriver up underneath there, spray a little WD-40, and this thing will slide right off. Then I'm gonna clean up this grip glue that they have on here, and then I can go ahead and clean this up and put the new bar ends, or not bar ends, but the new grips on it, and then that'll be done. And then I'll see what I can do with the tank. All right, so I took the throttle side off, and I forgot to mention there's a throttle tube on this side, which is on here with your, yeah, this is the throttle tube, which is connected to the cables. And so it's not just on the bar. So when you're taking this off, be careful not to break this. Otherwise you got a bad day and you got to order one of these. But same thing, I just put the screwdriver up underneath it and sprayed it with WD-40 and it slid right off. So now I'm gonna clean these two sides up, get it nice and dry, get all that glue off, and then I can slide the new ones back on. And I got that grip glue, except I'm not gonna go as liberal as they did because there's no need for all that. Just a little bit will do. And then slide it back on and you're pretty much golden. So clean that up and then that'll be all set. All right, so as you can see, it's nice and clean now on both sides. And for those of you that don't know how to get that glue off, that's all dried on there, there's a couple methods. You can use bug and tar remover, like you would if you want to get bug guts off the front of your car. Another option is to use brake cleaner. For those of you that don't know, this stuff is magic. This is like gold in an automotive repair shop. If you have a can of this, you're like king. And you got to keep an eye on it because people will steal this in a heartbeat. So keep it locked up. But anyway, I got all the glue off. And actually, I got a little bit here still. I need to fix that. But anyway, it's nice and clean, both sides. So now I'm just going to take the new one, put a little bit of grip glue on it, and stick the new ones back on it. And it should be good. And then we'll move on to something else. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. If you can't get the glue off, the bug and tar remover, or this is even better, brake cleaner. Brake cleaner is your friend. I strongly suggest that everyone has at least one can of this laying around at any given time because this is your best friend. Okay, so I got the grips on there. One thing I don't like, and these are just some cheap generic $15 grips, but they're nice and soft and cushy and they feel good. The one thing I don't like is they're not made for this bike. They're just a universal for a 7/8 inch handlebar. The problem is it's a little bit shorter than the factory. So this bar end sticks out a little bit, and then you got the throttle tube here, and the old ones gripped all the way around it. There was like a notch in it, which grabbed this plastic right here. This one just kind of sits on it. It'll be fine. It's not gonna go anywhere. Same thing with this side. As you can see, this bar end goes all the way flush. I guess I could scoot this over just a notch and scoot this in a little bit farther, but I like the way it sits flush. And actually it doesn't need any grip glue because it's stuck on there so good I can't even twist it. Same thing with this one. It's not going anywhere. But I might put a little bit of grip glue on it, just a dab to make sure it doesn't move, but it won't. I'm also, if I can find my old one from my XSR 900, I might try that one and see if that one fits a little bit better before I put a dab of glue on it. Just see what it's like, but I gotta find the old one. I got it laying around somewhere, I just don't know where. So if I can find it, I might try it, just see how it fits. But anyway, it feels much better than the old ones. Plus the old ones were, what, 14 years old? So it's probably time for a set of new ones. And these feel good, so I'm okay with it. I'm not too concerned about a little gap. I mean, look at the bike. Come on, it's not all that in a bag of chips, but it'll do the job, and it looks all right. And unless you look carefully, you probably wouldn't even notice. So I think it'll be fine. But I'm gonna try the ones from the XSR just in case, and we'll see how it goes. But I think for now it's just gonna stay. And now I think I might clean this up. And oh, by the way, the way I got this on, because it was so hard to get on, was, again, I used the brake clean. I hosed down the handlebar, and I hosed down the inside of the grip and just slid it on. And by the time that stuff evaporates, you got the handle grip, or the grip on. So again, brake clean, it is your friend. Buy a can. So that's what I used. And now I think I'm gonna go on to this lever. I'm gonna try to do the brake lever first and clean all this up. And then I'm gonna spray it out with brake cleaner. All up in here, get all this gunk out, clean it up, and then I'm gonna use some white lithium grease and grease all this up and make sure it looks good. And then we'll move on to something else. But I might do that another day. I think I'll make that the next video. I'll do the lever cleaning on the next video. For now, I'll just leave it at that. And then I'll do another video when it comes time for the spark plugs.